The night used to mean something else. Before the hum of electricity, before the ping of messages, before the walls, the clocks, the mattresses, and the endless glow of screens, there was only the sky, fire, cold earth, and sleep, real sleep. The kind that came with the dark and left with the sun. Uninterrupted, undisturbed, pure. Cavemen didn't need sleep aids, routines, or melatonin. They slept when they were tired. They rose with the light. Their bodies listened to nature, not notifications. Their minds weren't cluttered with deadlines, traffic, or digital noise. Fear was real, but so was peace. And somehow, in a world without comfort, they found better rest than we do today. This is not nostalgia. It's fact. And once you see how far we've fallen from the sleep we were designed for, you might never look at your bedroom the same way again. Before electricity carved the night into neon fragments, before cities drowned the stars in haze, there was only the fire. A single flame stood between the living and the unknown. For early humans, night wasn't a pause, it was a presence. The dark was alive. It watched. It hunted. And so they gathered close. Around the fire. Around each other. The light it gave was small, but it meant everything. In this dim, primal glow, something extraordinary happened. The human brain began to understand night not as a threat, but as rhythm, as safety, as time to let go. Sleep didn't come behind locked doors or under artificial lights. It came beneath open skies, where the stars weren't just decoration. They were the only ceiling anyone knew. Researchers today have uncovered traces of these ancient fires in cave floors, perfectly circular burns where ash settled for centuries. These weren't just cooking spots. They were centers of life and of sleep. Early humans slept in phases, often in shifts, always in the warmth and hum of the flame. Modern people live with more comfort than ever before, but less connection. The flame is gone, replaced by bulbs and screens that hijack the brain's natural signals. But back then, the fire told the body when it was time to rest, and it obeyed. What if we didn't evolve to sleep alone, in silence, behind walls? What if the secret to sleep wasn't isolation, but something we left behind in the ashes? The camera pulls back. A cave mouth. Fire glowing. Shadows dancing on stone. Sleep, not as escape, but as return. Long before humanity carved time into numbers, before clocks ticked and phones buzzed, we rose and rested with the sun. No schedules. No time zones. Just the planet turning, and us turning with it. Modern sleep is fragmented, cut into pieces by shift work, screens, caffeine, and anxiety. But for most of human history, sleep was synced to the sky. The sun dictated everything. As it rose, so did life. As it set, the body knew. It was time to slow down. This natural alignment, what scientists now call the circadian rhythm, was once flawless. It was built into our biology. Every cell in the human body follows this internal clock, and the master switch, daylight. Today, artificial light confuses that system. Blue light from screens tricks the brain into thinking it's still day. Hormones like melatonin, which signal sleep, are suppressed, and we wonder why we lie awake at 2 a.m., tired but restless. But imagine a world without electricity. No glowing lamps. No backlit screens. When the sun dipped below the horizon, the temperature dropped, light faded, and the body listened. Cavemen didn't wonder when to sleep. Their environment answered for them. And here's the twist. Many of them didn't sleep in one long chunk like we do. Evidence suggests early humans practiced segmented sleep, 2 phases, with a quiet, wakeful period in between. A time for thought, intimacy, or simply listening to the night. The camera pans to the sky turning deep blue, stars surfacing one by one. We've built a world that ignores the sun, but our bodies haven't forgotten it, and they never will. Stress, as we know it today, is a modern invention. Deadlines, traffic, bills, notifications, 1,000 things we can't see, but feel crawling beneath our skin. But for most of human history, those kinds of pressures didn't exist. Cavemen had fear, real, immediate fear. A predator's growl, a rival's shadow. But once the danger passed, so did the tension. There were no lingering to-do lists, no unpaid rent, no social media spirals at 3 a.m. Their minds weren't burdened by the future or haunted by the past. They lived in the present, and when that present was quiet, so were their thoughts. That silence in the brain, it mattered. Today, chronic stress is one of the leading causes of insomnia. Our nervous systems stay in overdrive. Even when we lie down, the mind races. But in the wild world of our ancestors, stress was episodic, not constant. The body flared up, then came down. And in that calm, deep sleep was not just possible, it was automatic. Neuroscientists now believe that the overactive prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for rumination, is one of the biggest obstacles to modern rest. Cavemen didn't have the luxury of overthinking, and perhaps that was their greatest luxury of all. The scene shifts, a small group around a dying fire, their bodies limp with exhaustion, their faces unburdened. They had no walls, but they also had no worries. And in that simplicity, they found the kind of sleep we now chase with pills, podcasts, and therapy. The wild wasn't always kind, but at night it was quiet. Humans were never meant to sleep alone. For hundreds of thousands of years, sleep was a communal ritual, not a private escape. Tribes huddled together, shoulder to shoulder, sharing warmth, safety, and trust. There were no locked doors, no separate rooms, no do not disturb signs. Sleep was a shared responsibility, and in that togetherness, the brain could finally let go. Modern sleep, isolated behind walls and screens, might feel peaceful, but it's unnatural. Evolution shaped us to rest surrounded by familiar bodies, a protective circle where someone was always half awake listening. One person's light sleep was another's security system. Anthropologists studying present-day hunter-gatherer tribes, like the Hadza of Tanzania, have discovered something remarkable. Even though individuals sleep at different times, the group is never entirely unconscious. Someone is always awake, not by design but by instinct. It's a rhythm older than language. And here's the twist. This fragmented, overlapping sleep didn't make them tired. It made them feel safe. Their brains knew they were watched over, that if danger came, it wouldn't arrive in silence. In that comfort, they found something deeper than rest. They found peace. The camera cuts to a slow pan across sleeping faces, firelight dancing on skin, the faint echo of breath and sink. We lock ourselves away to feel secure. But our ancestors knew that safety wasn't in solitude, it was in each other. And maybe the reason we can't sleep is because we're trying to do it alone. We were never supposed to be this awake. In just a blink of evolutionary time, we've rewired what took nature millions of years to perfect. Where once night meant darkness, now it means deadlines, emails, binge watching, scrolling endlessly beneath the glow of screens that never sleep. And neither do we. Sleep, once sacred and automatic, is now something we schedule, something we fight for, something we lose. Artificial light has shattered our biological clocks. Blue light from phones and laptops tricks our brains into thinking it's still daytime, even at midnight. Melatonin production drops. The body stays alert. The mind spins. And then we medicate the very thing we broke. Across the world, millions turn to pills, supplements, apps, and white noise just to do what cavemen did naturally, fall asleep. But modern life doesn't allow rest. Our days are overstimulated. Our nights are overstretched. The cycle is endless. More caffeine to wake up, more distraction to unwind, more exhaustion that never truly ends. This isn't just about sleep, it's about what we've lost. We traded the fire for fluorescent light, the village for isolation, the rhythm of the sun for the rhythm of the algorithm. The camera slows. A bedroom glows with the cold blue of a phone screen. Outside, the stars still shine ignored. We built a world that never turns off. But our bodies were never designed for this kind of night. Cavemen didn't know luxury, but they knew sleep. And somewhere along the way, in all our progress, we left it behind.